All right. It's a great day in South Florida. My name is Chris Igoe. Welcome to Living in South Florida. And today we've got some big time news, big time change, big time shift happening out there in the market. And we must discuss it right now because for the first time in a long time, home values have dropped. And I got news for you. Florida home prices are going to drop. So if you want to learn more about that, then please keep watching. Stick around until the end because we're going to do a deep dive exactly as to what's happening right now in South Palm Beach County, Boynton Beach, Florida, and the community in which I live in Canyon Trails, because I have been putting out lots of content talking about the pivot, the shift, what I see in real time. And I've talked about it for a long time that most of the numbers that we discuss are lagging numbers. They are lagging indicators. The real-time things that I've been discussing have all been based on my own personal experience and essentially anecdotal evidence. Well, that was true up until today. They just released the numbers for May of 2022, and they don't look good if you are thinking about selling your home. They probably sound like music to your ears if you're thinking about buying a home. So let's do a deep dive. Let's get into it right now. Boom, we're live. All right, so May 22, 2022 numbers are out, and I'm going to start with the 5,000 foot overview. I'm going to start with South Palm Beach County numbers, and then we're going to drill down into more granular detail as it relates to the markets that exist within the markets. But make no mistake, the trends that I'm discussing here locally are going to exist everywhere in Florida, and I suspect everywhere in the country, and you must be plugged into the most accurate information that exists. So keep in mind, what we're discussing is May, so it's reasonable to assume that June numbers are going to be worse. It's reasonable to assume that these trends, in this case, the trends are not your friends, but you absolutely want to know what those trends are so that you can make the best decision for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. All right, so May 2022 numbers are out, and for the first time in a long time, the average sales price for a home is down. It's down almost 5%, 4.8% to be exact. Went from an average sales price of $920 down to $876. That's a drop. All right, now I've talked a lot about supply and demand and how that will govern and dictate the market value for anything, right? If there's tremendous demand and not a lot of supply, well, you know what's going to happen. And if you've been shopping here over the last year or longer, last 2 years, you have experienced that firsthand. It's been very frustrating, and the sellers have had all the leverage. Well, those dynamics are changing, and I've talked about that a lot recently. I've talked a lot about consulting with home owners that are thinking about selling and giving them strategies how to get what they want in this market. But a lot of them are tone deaf because they think that it's yesterday's market. They think that what was happening a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago is what's happening right now, and that's simply not the case. So average sales price down 4.8%, but let's just round that up. It's down 5%. Well, it is what it is. From there, new listings, which is the supply, right? The amount of homes available to be purchased that are for sale, that's up 1% for single family homes. Pending sales are down 27%. So the interest rates that have gone through the roof have absolutely decreased the demand from buyers out there, and it's going to get worse. So that's where we're at as it relates to South Palm Beach County. If we drill down into Boynton Beach, and I can do this for any city in South Florida, so if you have questions about a particular city or a particular subdivision and you want to know what the most accurate information is, then either obviously reach out to me directly, leave a comment down below, and I will be happy to bring you up to speed with the most accurate, relevant, real-time information to the best of my ability. All right, so Boynton Beach, which is the city where I live. Listings are up 7%. Month supply is up 33%. There's 1.2 months of active inventory right now, or not, excuse me, not right now, as of last month. So that number's increased since last month, I can promise you that. Which is still a seller's market. It's still a undersupply of homes relative to the demand. But demand is dwindling, and that's just a fact. That's what happens when inflation and interest rates go through the roof, right? So when the cost of a mortgage or the cost of borrowing money to buy a house goes from 3% to 7%, well, that's going to impact the dynamics of the home buyers that can afford to buy a home, right? So we're seeing that. I've talked a lot about it. I've talked a lot about the shift. Well, the shift is just shifting into a faster gear. So here we are. Month supply is up 33%. Inventory of homes for sale is up 4.2%. And we're starting to see a stabilization in the market. But make no mistake, home prices are going to drop, and overpriced listings are going to sit. So if you are thinking about selling, it is still a favorable time. In fact, it's the best time to do it, because as economic conditions deteriorate, there will be much more competition when you choose to sell your home, cash out, and tap into the equity that you have. Preserve that equity by turning it into cash as soon as you can. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to need to do that as we start to see the dynamics change, as we start to see economic conditions deteriorate, and as we see people start to experience layoffs, wage reductions, and not earn as much money as they have done in the past. That's coming. It's inevitable. All right, now let's get to the Canyons, which is where I live. So the Canyons Enclave is a community of homes built out by Igoe Homes back in the 2015 for Canyon Trails. The others were built starting in 2005. But it's Canyon Springs, Canyon Trails, Canyon Lakes, Canyon Isles, an incredible place to live. But there's been no inventory of homes for sale. I've had tons of people from around the country and around the world who want to buy in the Canyons, and there simply were no homes available for them to buy. When there was a new listing, it was insanity. There were multiple offers. They bid the price higher. They waived every contingency. They waived the appraisal. They would do whatever it took to get that home under contract so they could max out South Florida living to the fullest. And it was frustrating. Now, we still had tremendous success. Nonetheless, it was very frustrating. Well, those dynamics have changed radically. New listings are up 13% in May. Well, we're in June. I got news for you. That number's higher. The active inventory of homes that are on the market was up 55%. 55%. Pending sales, again, this is May, down 20%. So interest rate sensitive buyers, which is most people, are now not purchasing homes. They're priced out. Okay, so what happens when there's a ton of supply and not a lot of demand? Well, you guessed it, prices are bound to go down, period. Now, if you price the home the right way and you do the right things, there's still less than, what's the actual stat here? There's still just an uptick of a month's inventory in terms of overall supply. So it's still a very favorable dynamic for sellers. But if you're looking to buy, chances are there aren't going to be multiple contracts. You're not going to have to waive you probably don't have to waive appraisal. You probably don't have to give away your firstborn to get the house under contract. You've got leverage now because the dynamics have changed. And that's good if you're thinking about buying a home. you're thinking about selling, you better really do a hard look as to what's the best move for you, because the truth is, as we move into the later part of the year, just like I've mentioned in all the videos I've done up till now, the dynamics are going to be very different. It's going to be much more expensive to get a loan. I'm calling for a 9% interest rate on a mortgage. That's where I suspect it's going. I hope I'm wrong, but I suspect that's where it's going. That means the demand is going to be down. But the supply of homes available towards the end of the year and going in the next year is likely going to be significantly higher, period. I think we're going to return to what 2019 numbers were like. I think we're going to get a stabilization in the market. I still believe we will continue to see I believe home values will continue to increase, but I believe they will increase at a normalized level, something more like 2 to 4%. Maybe more, yet to be determined. I don't know. Anybody who tells you that they do know is completely full of it. Nobody knows. But I do know this. Back in 2019, there were roughly 7,000 homes that were available for sale. Right now, there's 2,600 active homes for sale. That's the inventory. So when you've got more supply and less demand, you're not going out there and setting records for home sales. You're getting what the market will bear. And the market is always right. The market doesn't care about what my opinion of the value of the house is. The market doesn't care what your opinion of the value of the house is. The market will set the value, and it will always be right, and it will always punish anyone who is not aware of market dynamics. So that's where we're at. I hope it's helpful. If you're even thinking about moving to or living in South Florida, you've got to give me a call, text, DM, send a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, by any means necessary, because we've got your back when it comes to moving to or living in South Florida. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the area and you'd like to learn more about any city in South Florida, then please click there'll be a link up in the video for our city/relocation guide. It's going to tell you everything you want to know about every city in South Florida, and it is very valuable. So please check that out and reach out anytime if you've got any questions, or leave them in the comments below. And then separate to that, I've done 2 videos discussing market dynamics right now, and you can check either of them out right now. And until next time, peace.